everyone, it's Deanna,
Aaron
and Celeste, and you're catching up on this week's episode of Two Brunettes and a Gay
on the podcast.
Good morning, Adelaide, and welcome back to your Two Brunettes and a Gay. It must be Saturday morning because Deanna and I are here to join you for your brunch session, minus our dear gay Aaron this week.
Yes, it's just two brunettes coming to you right here, right now. So,
which, let's be honest, it's what the people want.
We do get many requests to get rid of Aaron, but, you know, he's a little bit like a bad smell, really.
And I can confirm he's not here because he passed away. Last week, he nearly didn't make it to the show because he killed over in the shower.
Yeah, no, that's right. I thought he was having heart failure, but he was okay. No, just joking. We love Aaron. The audience loves Aaron.
Do they?
I don't know. Subjective.
He is having a big day today, so big shout out to our dear Aaron. He is performing tonight in the one and only Elton John. I want to call it Elton John Unleashed, but it's not called that. Elton John Orchestrated at the Adelaide No, it's not at the Adelaide Festival Centre.
Where is it? Her Majesty's?
That's a good question. Let's find out where it is.
Sorry, Aaron, we should have done our research before we talked about it. It's
Beauty
somewhere.
and the Beast is on, so it can't be, right? We're going to find out where it is, and we're going to tell you to get your tickets. We did see it last year.
It was amazing.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant show. Incredible musicians, obviously incredible vocalists, Aaron being one of them, and just a really, really great Elton John show. So if you're a fan of Elton,
go and get your tickets for tonight.
Elton John Orchestrated.
It's not too late. You've still got plenty of time. Go and get your tickets for tonight. Go out in Adelaide. Adelaideans, get out in winter.
So that's where Aaron is today. He's got bump in. He's a busy, busy man today. So we're wishing him the best. Break a leg, Aaron. But speaking of getting out on the town, we got out on the town last night, Deanna.
We did. I went to the casino for the first time in God knows how long. It's an interesting place, that little doozy right there, isn't it?
That little casino.
Yes, the Adelaide Casino. It's definitely changed a lot over the years.
Look, I don't know if it's changed that much since I've been of age to go there.
Oh, right.
Because I feel like the whole time that I've been able to go there, it's been quite bogan.
Oh, no, it's always, no offence if you love the casino, but it is a little bogan.
It is. I remember hearing
which is
stories.
Part of its charm.
I remember hearing stories back in its heyday where people were like, it was so classy and everyone got so dressed up and you weren't allowed in without a collar.
Code. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is anymore.
I don't believe so.
No.
So, yeah, look, we had a night out on the town with our mum and dad.
Yes.
And they definitely beat us in terms of staying out.
Yeah, and this was something that we were like, should we have done a radio segment? I don't know, but like for all of you 30-somethings out there, 40-somethings out there listening, same age as us, do your parents like go harder than you go? Because at like 10 o'clock I was like, man, I am tired.
I've got a busy Saturday morning. I have to do my routine.
Yeah.
I've got to be on radio.
I feel like this younger generation is switching late nights out for early morning, gym and coffee and juice, and I don't know, it's just changed, hasn't it?
It has. They also drink more. By far, they drink more than us. They're a different breed.
The older generation. Not trying to paint you in a bad picture, by the way, Mum and Dad. Just pointing out the differences. The younger generation, it's changed. It's changed so much. I've noticed it.
It has. But it was a good night out. And, we've got a big show coming up for you today. We did make sure that we got to bed decently early so that we were well rested. Mm-hmm. For this morning's show. So, Deanna, you've got something that you want to share because you had a situation that presented itself this week and you need to know if you should have spoken up or you did the right thing by keeping your mouth shut.
I actually had two situations that presented
It's been a big week then.
Two situations that presented itself, and I'm not going to tell you whether or not I spoke up in those situations, but I definitely want to hear what you think right after this break.
Don't go anywhere.
There's more right after this. So I was in two situations this week, like I said, and there were those situations where you just go, should I say something or do I keep my mouth shut? Now, they're both very different situations. And the first one, I think I should have said something. I didn't say anything in both of them, firstly. Spoiler alert, I didn't say anything in both of them.
Oh, that's so not you.
I know, but the first one, I think I'm going to start, because this situation occurs frequently. If you are like me, you probably, or unless you're the person who does the thing on the other side, and then in that case, we're not friends. But the second situation, I feel like it's one of those situations where I don't know if you can say anything or not. It's like super awkward. But anyway. First situation, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Been parking a lot around the city this week. You know, we've had Nonna, she's been in hospital, she's had an operation, she's doing super well. Shout out to Nonna. Don't know if you're listening at the moment or not, but we love you very much. We're so proud of you.
Go
right?
Nonna.
Go Nonna. Woohoo. And so we've been parking a lot around the hospital, Calvary Wakefield, here in the city, right? And as you all know, in the city, sometimes parking can be frustrating. But what makes it more frustrating, and this used to happen when we owned our business in the city as well, is when you have parks that are along the side of a road and somehow, by the chance of a miracle, you know, when it's like when you park up lined against the curb, some really terrible something driver, so driver, decides to park. You got not just one park open, but two parks open along the curb.
Yep.
And then somebody comes along and sticks their car right in the middle.
Yep.
I see red.
Yeah.
I see red with that. Why? When it's so difficult, and maybe it's because I've worked in the city and so it's like so frustrating getting a car park all of the time, but I'm always really considerate of other people when I'm parking my car, thinking, oh, another car could fit there. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if I have to get out, move forward, whatever the case is. And then it's like these people who can't drive come and stick their middle in the two car parks, and this woman did it right in front of me when I had been driving around for like 15 minutes trying to find a car park. And I was like, I'm almost about to pull the car over to the curb and say something. Like, seriously, are you going to take up two car parks? Like,
was the person still in the car?
Yes, they were still in the car.
Okay, so you could have approached them.
I could have approached her and said to her, like, excuse me, like, I'm really... And I probably would have been direct, but, you know, passive-aggressive about it. Said, excuse me, like, I'm really sorry, but you just parked in the middle of two car parks, and there are people all around here driving around trying to find car parks, trying to see loved ones in the hospital. Can you not move your car forward or backwards, like, half a metre? Is it that difficult? Like, why are you driving if you can't park a car? Should I have said something in that situation?
Oh, my God, yes.
Do you reckon?
Oh, my God, yes. Okay, we all know that well, maybe you don't know this. I feel like I'm a bit of a justice warrior.
You are a bit, actually, yes.
Right, and I'm like, if I see injustice happening, like, it does burn me inside to not say something, and there is situations, and that is one of them where it's like, this is for the greater good of the people. Number one, because, you know, you have the opportunity to obviously take a park and go and see a loved one in the hospital. But number two, because hopefully you're teaching her a lesson for every future park that she takes.
Yes.
That she remembers this conversation that you had with her to not be a nitwit.
Well, yeah, but, you know, it's hard because I'm in this inner conflict because I try and work on not being righteous. Do you know what I mean? It's like, don't let your ego get in the way. Don't be righteous.
Get in the way.
But part
let
of me
the
is
ego
like,
get in the way.
This has a flow-on effect. You are one of those people, and if you are out there laughing and going, I do this, shame on you. You are one of those people who really, like, you F with the flow of the system, you know, and it just... I don't know. I just feel like it's inconsiderate and rude.
Like, it's you know, this is funny though. I feel like the same people that do that are the same people that, like, in a big car park are the ones that go and park, like, in the car parks that no one's parked in right out the back because they don't want anyone to touch their car.
Yeah, true. Yes, and I'm like, oh, some people are, but I'm not a confident driver. Good. Do what Aaron does. Get an Uber.
100%. No. Knock on the window.
Driving is not something you should be doing if you're not confident.
Knock on the window. 100%. You should have said something, Deanna. Let's go back there now and see if she's still there.
She's there. All right. Second situation is a quick one. I was in the hospital and I was talking to somebody elderly and I didn't know this person. It was the first time I met them and they were chit-chatting whatever, and, you know, she was speaking about things that I wasn't even really following what she was saying, but I was sitting there and I was being polite, and I was sitting on the chair and she was standing next to me, talking to me very close, and as she was talking, she was spitting all over my face.
We've talked about this before. Can you say something when someone spits on you?
Can you say something when someone spits on you? I didn't know what to do, but it was like... Like, you know when it's like you even if you get up and move, they follow you?
Yeah.
So what do you do in that situation? Is that one of those situations where you have to keep your mouth shut?
I think you can't say anything, but I think you can do actions that do show what they're doing.
Like what?
Like wiping your face when they're talking to you. Like after they've spoken, if they've spat on you, making like an actual physical effort to be like wiping something off your face if they've spat on your face, for example. So if they're aware, they're like, oh, I just spat on you.
Yeah, but what happens if the awkward situation occurs where they're like, oh, I'm really sorry, I just spat on you. And you have to do that whole, oh, that's okay. But you don't really mean it.
No, I think that's totally fine because I spit on people all the time.
You spit? When do you spit on people?
I don't know. I dribble a lot. But I think you can't say anything in that situation, but I think you can make an action that does show what the person's done. That one's a little bit harder.
All right, well, next time I'll have to put my big girl panties on and I'll have to wipe my face.
Pour yourself another Bubbles.
Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back after this break. Who do you brunch with?
Your besties.
And what do you do with your besties?
Bitch.
It's time for the brunch bitch. Okay, so this one happened to me yesterday. And it's happened to me a couple of times, but I don't think it ever bothered me as much as it did yesterday. And I was like, nope, that's it. I've tried to be, like, fine about this, but I need to take this to the table for a brunch bitch.
Okay. Well, hit me with it. What is it?
Okay, so I do, like, click and collect. I don't think it's called click and collect at Woolworths, but, you know, like the same concept.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I do click and collect with Woolworths, where order my groceries online, schedule to pick it up. Through their direct to boot.
Yeah.
At the back of Woolworths. You know, do your shady deals at the back of Woolworths. Right.
Off the back of a truck.
And I generally always do that on a Friday. So I'll order my groceries on Thursday, pick them up on a Friday. Same routine yesterday morning.
You are such a routine person.
I am. Right. Went through Woolworths to pick up my groceries. When you get in there, if you're unfamiliar, when you get in there, so you get sent a text message when your groceries are ready for collection, which is generally like 15 minutes before your window of time.
I'm familiar with the process.
Right. Yep. And then you let them know when you're on your way and like give them a window of time in which you'll be there. And then when you arrive, you have to, on the, I guess, webpage, just click I've parked in a bay. So they know that you're there and then they'll bring out your groceries accordingly. And, you know, there might be people waiting in front of you, which yesterday there was. Totally fine. I just waited in my car. Waited. The guy then bought out my groceries after about 3 or 4 minutes. Didn't take too long. And a lot of times they help you pack the groceries. When you're doing your grocery shop, you select if you're bringing your own bags or if you need bags.
Yep.
Now, I have my own bags, so I don't need them to keep giving me more, even though sometimes they do.
Yes.
Right? But I bring my own bags, and so sometimes they'll help you pack those groceries into those bags. I guess it depends on how busy they are, which is fine. Like, if they can't help me pack, that's not a problem. But yesterday, the guy could help me pack. Now, he was, I guess, a worker that I'd never seen there before, even though I go weekly.
Right. So someone new,
right?
Maybe.
Helping me pack my bags, and he proceeded to pack my bags to the point where you couldn't lift them.
Like they were so heavy.
Right, in one bag, and I was watching him do it, and I was like, off the back of what you were just talking about, do I say something and be like, sorry, can you not put that much in there? And I didn't, right?
But you wanted to.
I wanted to. He put 3 bottles of 2-litre drink and then packets on top of that. Right, and this bag, this is a paper bag.
Yep.
First of all, a paper Woolworths bag. This bag had to have been 6 or 7 kilos.
Right.
And he had to lift it with 2 hands.
Yes.
So, what are you doing? What are you doing doing that to me? So, it's been a while since we've talked about the nostalgic 90s.
It has actually been a while. Yeah, we were doing this a little while back, and then it's time to bring it back.
Time to bring it back, right? It's always time to bring back the 90s.
Yes.
There is never not a time to bring back the 90s. What a time to be alive, right?
Love the 90s. What a melting pot.
And I think that's, obviously, you know, me, you and Aaron are products of the 90s. You know, we're 90s kids. We grew up in the 90s, so maybe that's why we love it so much. But I was having a scroll on social media during the week, and just popping up on my feed was like just different clips of bands, iconic bands from the 90s, and not the ones that you probably think of when you think of, you know, like the big bands from the 90s. When we think of, you know, girl groups or boy groups, you automatically go to your Backstreet Boys.
Yes.
Your Spice Girls.
Yep.
Your NSYNC.
Your
right?
your big bands.
Your big names. But there were so many nostalgic bands of the 90s
Yep.
that I thought about and that I saw videos of once I went down this rabbit hole, and I just thought, what an amazing, amazing time of music. Now, I wanted to bring some to you.
Okay, hit me.
And then I want to see yours. And I even reached out to Aaron and said, Aaron, I need your iconic 90s bands to bring to the table.
All right, okay. All right, let's see.
Okay, for me, S Club 7.
Oh, yeah. I mean, kind of a weird concept, but yeah.
Right, 7 people in a group?
It was
How
a
much
lot.
were they all getting paid?
Yeah, like it was a lot. Like, I guess one begs the question that if you need 7 people singing and dancing, like, is there not enough collective talent? Like, is that how much it needs to make up the amount of talent collectively? I don't know. Like, they were great. I love S Club 7. Like, I love their music, and it was fun at the time, but it was definitely more of like almost a kids band.
They were so iconic. Don't stop, never give up, S Club 7.
Yeah. No, the music was good.
Although I think one of the members of S Club 7 sadly passed away. So I don't know where that ended or when they ended.
Yeah.
But iconic, right? Okay, Steps. 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, that song shaped a generation.
Has definitely induced some public boot scooting for years and years to come. I don't even think anybody was really boot scooting before that song came along. I think it was once it did.
No, they definitely did it. They definitely did that. Okay, Bewitched.
Love Bewitched also. Yeah. They were kind of like, they were a bit more, like they were less preppy. Maybe they were a bit more alternative.
Well, but
bit more
they were
like-
Irish, I think.
Yeah, that's true, actually. They were, because if you think about like when they speak in the songs, they had quite thick accents, didn't they?
Yes.
Okay, these are all very, very girl groups themed here, Celeste.
I've got one last one, and
Okay.
this one is just, like, they have my heart. Now, there's one other that I would love to say, but I feel like you're going to say it, so I'm not going to say it. I'm going to give you that post. But Aqua.
Oh, I love Aqua. Aqua was great. Aren't they a different... Were they like
yeah.
Norwegian or something?
Yeah,
strange?
definitely from somewhere in Europe.
Denmark, maybe?
But
I don't know,
just,
I'm making things up right now.
What's like a Cartoon Heroes, what a song. Barbie Girl, what a song. Dr. Jones, what a song.
They were all... Again, this is very much like the reflective of the age we were at, like during the 90s, because really, if you think about it now, it's almost like kids' music.
It's the best.
It's great.
Okay,
So,
what are yours?
okay.
Hit me.
I was going to go for some non-traditional ones. So I don't know what you were going to say before, but I was going to go a little bit like left of centre. Not really, but kind of. What about No Doubt?
Yes, Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani got her, before she branched out on her own and became quite a big name. You know, when you think back to it, you go, who else was actually in No Doubt?
I have no doubt there was other people.
All right, I loved this one. Good Aussie band, Savage Garden.
Savage Garden was iconic.
The lyrics to their songs, for me, is
very,
like
very, very good songwriters.
quite profound, really, if you listen to them. But you were expecting me to say Hanson, weren't you?
100%.
I mean...
How is Hanson not on your nostalgic 90s list?
Of course, it's the top of my nostalgic 90s list. I was just trying to be different. But for those of you who are listening going, you know, Hanson, ooh, like we've talked about how much we love Hanson on the show before. Take some time to go and actually really listen to their lyrics. Appreciate the fact that at like 12 and 14 years old, they were writing their own music, songs, lyrics, like everything. Iconic. And, of course, watching Hanson as we grew up. Hanson were the ones who made me fall in love with harmony. They were masters of harmony. So, you know, it is quite deep. I'll just put it out there. All right, what were Aaron's?
Well, okay, Aaron, being Aaron, of course, Spice Girls tops his list.
Oh, yes. I mean, we love the Spice Girls. Although I don't know if it would track today. Like, could you do... You know, this whole thing where I don't know, like...
I feel like you should be able to. Like, I feel like the concept that you couldn't do something like that again annoys me because what was wrong with it? Maybe there's going to be people that have a go at me for that, but I don't understand what was wrong with the concept of Spice Girls.
I like stereotyping, maybe? I don't know. Like, I don't have a problem with it, but I feel like there's going to be something that we hear about why it wasn't a good thing at some point in time.
He also said Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Which, you know, again, gay, makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And lastly, Garbage.
Oh, wait, what did Garbage sing again?
That's a good question. I know the band, but I can't remember what they sang.
Oh, my God, it's not even ringing a bell.
Okay, hold on a second. Here we go. Only Happens When It Rains.
Oh, yes.
Stupid Girl. Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Yep. Okay, coming back to me now.
Yeah, good. And I feel like that's actually very 90s, you know, that kind of like almost what it wasn't goth back then, it wasn't emo back then, it was like grungy, like I don't know. A bit grungy? Yeah.
And you also had those iconic bands that we can't forget, like Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Like there was Foo Fighters. There were some really big rock bands of the 90s as well. But I feel like they don't make, I've said this before, they don't make music like they used to. So let's bring back the 90s because I am here for it. Top Up Your Cup. We'll be back after this break.
We've been talking a bit about weddings this show, obviously, if you've been listening. And it's funny because we share some similar opinions, but we also share some different opinions, you and I, don't we, Celeste?
Yes.
When it comes to weddings, I don't know, we have kind of similar point of views, but then kind of alternative point of views. So I thought, why don't we do some unpopular opinions about weddings?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do it.
I'd be interested to hear if we have the same opinion or not.
Why? She's talking to me so robotic right now. Like, sure, Deanna, this is a great idea.
Right, because I'm going to tell you what happened behind the scenes, people. Right. This is siblings, right? She said to me, should we do an unpopular opinion about weddings? And I said, sure. And then she goes, I feel like we've done it before, though, and it's been done. And I was like, I agree. I don't think we should do it. And now she says to me, we're going to do an unpopular opinion about weddings. And I'm like, why? We've done this before.
Because we got busy talking about something else. We went on a tangent.
Unpreparedness here.
We went on a tangent. What would you like to give me an unpopular opinion about
siblings.
Right now?
Unpopular opinions about siblings.
All right, here we go. We're going to let everybody in here, a little insight here. So this is how we prepare the show. So I'm going to write, hey chat, can you give me 10 unpopular, I can't spell unpopular,
I think chat can work out what you're saying.
Opinions about siblings.
Interested to hear if we're on the same page about this, right? So for those of you that might not have realised this, Deanna and I are sisters. Deanna is the older sister.
Yeah.
I am the younger sister. So this might, our opinions on things might tell a little bit about that because, older and younger siblings do tend to err on different sides about certain things, maybe just because they were raised slightly differently. Everyone says, the older sibling was raised with the harder rules and, more boundaries and all these things. And then when it came to the next sibling and the next sibling and the next sibling, it just got easier and easier because all the parents just kind of gave up, which I disagree with, or at least in our family, not to take away from the difficulty that you might have had growing up. Hi, Mum and Dad. But I am interested to see if we agree on this. All right, hit me.
She's on fire. Can you guys see how fired she is today? Aaron would be listening to this, pissing himself laughing.
Aaron's
right
not
now.
listening. He's getting ready for
She is on a
Unleashed.
soapbox. She is on one. All right, here we go. 10 unpopular opinions about siblings. Being the eldest often means unpaid parenting.
I disagree in our situation, but I would say that that's probably true in a lot of situations.
Well, look, I mean, it wasn't terrible in our situation, but definitely was a pressure to be like, make sure you look after your sister. Take your sister with you. You're not allowed to go if your sister doesn't go with you. Your sister, your sister, your sister. So, again, that's something that the youngest child never gets. You never get, ever, you never got, take care of your older sister.
What did you want me to take care of you?
No, but I'm just saying, the pressure happens the other way around, and it's like, well, who took care of me? Nobody, because there was nobody before me.
I feel like this has turned into a therapy session. Deanna is clearly airing her grievances about being the older sibling here. No, look, I think that in some situations, Not always, but often the more kids in a family, I think the more the elder sibling takes on a parenting role because there's just so many
That they help out the parents.
The parents. In
With
our
just
situation,
two, maybe it's not as hard.
It's not as hard, but yes, sometimes you did have to take me places with you. I'm sorry about that. Maybe you should go and speak to someone.
I am going to. Younger siblings are not cute. They're usually just spoiled.
Totally disagree. I was the cutest thing on the planet Earth.
No, yes, you were cute. I will give you that. But you also were definitely spoiled, for sure. You were fussy as a kid. Like, our listeners, and, those who are listening, like, that know you would be laughing. Like, she was so fussy as a kid. It was unbelievable. Like, things like she couldn't wear long sleeves because they annoyed her arms, or she wouldn't wear her hair down because it was in her face and it had to be tied up. Just, you were like, you're still pedantic now, actually, just in different ways.
This is funny because Deanna also had OCD tendencies where she went through this stage for like 2 years, but she had to lick every one of her fingers before she did anything.
I did. It's a sensory thing, though, because there's actually a lot of kids that go through that.
Literally. She used to be like, if you watch on the social media, because I'll show you.
No, I don't know why I went through that.
Lick every one of her fingers.
No, but even now, it's weird because even now with my fingers, like I have this thing where, when you wash your hands with soap and then your hands get like really... My hands have actually got that feeling now and it freaks me out. I don't know what it is. Like they get really smooth.
Your problems are developing as this segment goes on.
All right. Let's see. Sibling rivalry doesn't always go away with age.
I would agree with that. I don't necessarily think that that's the case in our situation.
No, we don't have sibling rivalry.
No, we're like pretty supportive of each other and we've always got each other's back. I think actually anyone that knows us, like we can argue.
Yes.
Aaron's like, they can argue.
Yeah.
We can argue, but we will, if anyone else argues with Deanna, I'll be like, I beg your pardon?
Yep.
What are you saying? What are you saying about my sister? No, but I have also observed situations where I actually think siblings really do things to try and like one-up each other or get the better of each other. And that's kind of sad.
Yeah, I know. I wonder how that happens, but it does. Okay, last one. Parents often have favourites, even if they won't admit it.
Yes, and it's me.
I think. I've seen it. Again, I don't feel it that much in our situation. I don't know.
No, but I think like it depends
on
what's happening at the time.
There was definitely a stage. Yeah, actually, that's true. Yeah, there was a stage where you were definitely the favourite when I was like effing, things up.
As you consistently continue to do.
Yeah, I do, yeah. So I think it's just like now it's like, well, we've given up now with that one. But
also, like, as you get older, it becomes less and less of a thing. But I do think, like, I just think there's some kids that are easier with some things.
No, but I've seen it in other families, though. There are definitely parents that, like, clearly have favourites. But it's funny when you actually say that to people and they'll tell you, yes, I do have favourites as well.
It's funny also because I've seen Kris Jenner speak about this and she's, like, I guess in some ways trying to normalise the fact that it isn't that like strange to have favorites on different days or like just have a child that you're like, you know what, like that child checked in on me today and, like did something really special for me today. So I like am really grateful for that child today. Or is it that strange to have favorites? I think if it's a consistent favorite, maybe that's a bit touchy. But I think if it's, like on one day this one or one day the other one, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of healthy sibling rivalry. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe if we ask the parents out there, they'll say it just depends on which kid is pissing me off the least today.
I don't know. That's a good question. But I think what we've both drawn from this last segment is that family therapy is needed.
In the studio, for sure.
So if you are a therapist...
Just call into Radio Italia Uno, 87.6 FM, and ask to speak to Two Brunettes A Gay.
Yeah, either that or hit us up on our socials and say, listen, I've heard the two of you and you definitely need some kind of family intervention here. Hey everyone, it's Deanna, Celeste and Aaron here, or as you know us, your Two Brunettes and a Gay.
Join the weekend happy hour at a new day and time every Saturday at 11 a.m.
So pour your mimosa for the most fabulous bottomless brunch in town.
Only on Saturdays at 87.6 FM, Radio Italia Uno.